Alright, so I had these spiders in my, backlog for a while now, planned for a cave diorama for those miners I had a while back. But I thought of something else. How about I have them attacked these soldiers instead? So, let's go. Alright, so we'll be making this diorama in a book nook. So, I'll be using smooth foam again like last time because I'm trying to save up on my XPS foam, and that's why I'm using smooth foam again. It's not the best material because it gets really more messier than the XPS foam, but it's doable and I have a lot of it, so might as well use it. So I'm using this, I cut it up in like 3 sections, and then I'll add a little piece at the top to give it like a little tip of a mountain slide or a hillside, and the wild imaginary west, inspired by Boylei Hobby Time. I'll be using a respirator as I use a foam wire cutter. As you can see, if you right here, the foam cutter switched colors because the orange one snapped and broke, and I ran out of wire. So I ended up going to the store and buying another one for like 20 bucks. So I gave me, like I said, a respirator to wear this because you don't want to do this without one because you don't want to get that bad smoke air and insulate on bad for your lungs and all that. So here I'm shaping up the foam to look like a side hill that the hunters or the cowboys were using the path to go around, but they didn't realize that it's called Spider Canyon for a reason because it's infested by spiders. So they thought taking this shortcut here was a good idea, and shortcuts also have consequences. I added some extra texture, not texture, but the lines with the comb cutter. And after that was done and shaped, I put on some texture paste. Because right now I have a lot of the plaster and the plaster and the paper mache that I'm saving up for the D-Day one that I'm planning up soon. Which is going to be like a D-Day of Omaha Beach that I've been trying to do for like the last 4 years. So after placing the texture paste up and waiting for it to dry, I placed some plaster rocks that I had left in my box, and I added those for some more outer texture for the mountainside. And then after that was dry, I primed the gray with a little bit of black first, then gray, and then a little bit of white. And then I started airbrushing and painting the base. Start off with a brown color to have some dirt area for the mountainside. And then after that, I added some green for the grass. I was switching back and forth between brown and green. I first started off with a lighter brown, and then a lighter brown, and then switching to a darker brown and then lighter brown mostly to get a little highlight, and then added green because where the green was, I was going to put the grass to add some foliage. And after that, I added some PVA glue, mixed it around, and I placed, first I spread it up with a brush, and then I placed the grass. I was going to use static grass, but I was in I was in the mood because I couldn't find my static grass applicator. It was somewhere lost in my office, my workshop. So I just went with the grass for now and then just placed it. And after that, took out all the excess grass and saved it for later. Here I am adding some extra dirt for the path, mainly on the path because it's a path, and then added some dirt around the hill. And then I solidified it with some isopropyl alcohol and some watered down glue. As you can see, I think I put too much PVA glue around the plaster rod. That's why you see that little white circle. So I was just trying to cover it up more with some dirt and grass. And then I added more color to it with another hint of green and brown. Here I was placing up poking some holes in there so I could put this extra tree branches on here to make it look like more of a hillside with some foliage, and that's what that was for. I'm very limited because for some reason in Central Florida there ain't that many hobby stores that sells model kits and all the other stuff. I only have one major hobby store in downtown that I go to, and then the other two hobby stores that I know that has all the stuff that I've been looking for are like in, you know, Sarasota or um, Gainesville. Sucks, but other than that, I gotta rely on either 3D printing or Amazon. After that, I added some cobwebs that I got from the Spirit of Halloween store during their clearance sale last year, and I was using that to add spider webs around the hill for Spider Canyon. After I put it on, I was like, man, it looks more like fog. And I thought about how every other diorama maker makes their spider webs with stuff, but you know, I'm a novice, and this is what I had in lawn, so that's what I was using. Still looks for a good. It still made a good effect anyway. So there you go. After the base was done, I switched over to painting the spiders. These spiders are from the D&D collection that you get from your local hobby stores. I got like a big black one, which was like, I think it's a Black Widow, which is that one right here you see on the camera. And then the rest were like small spiders you get from the cave one. So I was trying to make it look like the Black Widow is like leading the pack. And then the other spiders are just following through. And I try to go by making them look like more like brown spiders. I forgot what they're called. Here's my attempt to add the little Black Widow symbol on the spider. So I little made shape, added some white, and then added the red. Unfortunately, because of my impatience got the best of me, I forgot for it to wait for the paint to dry. So once I lifted up that symbol, it ripped it off some of the paint, so I had to go back and added the black on it. After all the spiders were done, I switched over to the cowboys. I was originally going to have a small unit convoy of cowboys traveling through the hill, but I realized I made the hill, you know, because its space is limited because of the book nook. I had to go down, cut it down to like at least one guy on a horse, 2 horses carrying the supplies, and 2 other cowboys along with the other horses that's carrying the supplies traveling through the hill. So right here I'm painting this cowboy here on the horse with the regular brown and black, giving them a nice little color hat, brown hat, and I just went with random colors on his clothing. As you can, my painting jobs are mediocre or novice because I just started doing diorama making again like a couple years ago, and my painting skills are not on par, so I just basically just use speed paints for a quicker paint job because I'm not patient enough to look down and go into detail, which I should work on because I like to get into painting more. And the only painting methods I currently know how to use is speed paints and basically slap chop jobs when working on paintings. But I really do want to get into painting more, and I should practice more with regular paints, acrylics, and then get into that. And I'm really looking out to look for classes or tutorials. So if you know of any, let me know. But for now, I'm just going with what I know and priming white or stuff like that, and using speed paints. It's a quick job and gets the job done and helping bring my imagination out there and, you know, creativity pop. So after that cowboy, the horse was done, here I am painting the other cowboy because he's running out to help this other cowboy that you're going to see soon, trying to take out the first spider they see on the trail, which think that's the only spider. But, you know, in the outskirts, there's more than one. Right here, I'm painting the little, I think these are donkeys, but they look like smaller horses, but I'm going to go with horses and just paint them color, horses color, carrying the supplies. Because if it wasn't, no, yeah, it's definitely a horse. Now I'm looking at it, it's not a donkey. But donkeys are pretty fast, I think. Right? I really do enjoy making dioramas. It's fun. Showing my imagination, creativity. Big shout out to Boylei Hobby Time for inspiring me to make dioramas. Since I started watching his channel and videos like 3 years ago or 4, has really inspired me to push my imagination and creativity. Definitely worth checking his channel out. Definitely very inspirational. And there's other diorama makers too out there. Check them out too on YouTube, like Night Shift and a few others. For inspiration and ideas, I definitely recommend checking those out. Because I am switching over my hobbies now, because I started off as a photographer and doing cosplay stuff and other photography, which I still love doing. It's just, I guess the more I get older, my hobbies change and my interests. So I like to switch over. I'm like not switching over, but slowly doing this more of diorama and miniature painting, which is I'm not a great at, but I do love enjoying it, and I want to continue doing it more. Also, I do have other photo shoots that I have in my computer that I need to post out here because it's a lot, and I want to showcase it. But I still do photo shoots, just not as much as before the last couple of years. I am going to Atlanta to do some more photo shoots at this convention called Dragon Con. It's definitely worth checking out if you are a cosplay lover and pop culture fan and stuff like that. But also, I am still doing theme park stuff too, because what else is there to do in Central Florida? So after the spiders were done and the soldiers and the convoy, the cowboys were done, I cut them off their bases and prepared them to put them on the base. It's just hassle because the D&D ones bases suck, but it still works out. Alright, so as I finish painting all this, I'll give you the little story I put together for this diorama. The sun had long since vanished behind the canyon walls when Marshal Cole Turner and a small caravan entered Spider Canyon. The narrow pass was the quickest route to Blackwater Crossing, while locals whispered stories about the place. Stories of missing travelers, abandoned wagons, and strange clicking sounds that echoed throughout the night. Most dismissed them as campfire tales. As the group made their way deeper into the canyon, an uneasy silence settled over the trail. No birds sang, no coyotes howled, even the horses seemed reluctant to continue. Then, they saw it. A single lantern hanging high above the path, swaying gently despite the still air. "Who leaves a light way out here?" one traveler asked. Before anyone could answer, a horse reared in terror. From the darkness above came the sound of scraping legs against stone. Cole looked up. 8 glowing eyes stared back. The creature descended slowly from the cliff face, larger than a stagecoach and twice as terrifying. Behind it, dozens more shapes emerged from the shadows, their massive legs clattering against the canyon walls. The stories were true. "Guns up!" Cole shouted. The first spider lunged. Rifles cracked through the canyon as travelers scrambled for cover. Horses kicked wildly while giant spiders poured from hidden tunnels and crevices. The lanterns glow, revealing the horrific truth. The canyon wasn't a path, it was a nest. Surrounded on all sides, the travelers formed a desperate circle, fighting back against the swarm. Whether they escaped or became another forgotten tale of Spider Canyon would depend on their courage and a little luck. To this day, travelers still avoid Spider Canyon after dark. Long claim that they can still see a lone lantern burning in the distance, marking the place where brave souls made their stand against the monsters of the wild imaginary West.
And that's going to wrap up this journey to Spider Canyon. What started as a simple trek through the wild imaginary west turned into a desperate fight for survival against a swarm of giant spiders lurking in the shadows. If you enjoyed this build, be sure to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what creature or encounter I should bring to life next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next diorama adventure.